Hi everyone, we've talked about associations and classes. Today we're going to talk about multiplicity and constraints. We're going to give you a few more examples. Again, this is the outcome of what we call domain modeling. This is one of the three major activities that we work on during analysis phase. The first one is requirements modeling. You create your use case diagrams. The second one is process modeling. You create your activity diagrams, system sequence diagrams. And this is the last component we call domain modeling. You're going to create what we call a domain model class diagram, something like what you see in this picture. We talked about associations briefly last time. This is another example. So a customer can place how many orders? You look at the numbers on the other side. 0 to many, and that's how we show it. 0 on this side, dot, dot, star. One thing that I've seen students do is that they put the numbers on the opposite side. But keep that in mind. When you read a customer and relationship to an order, you put the numbers on this side. So this is a customer placing 0 to many orders. Why is it 0? Because in most of the systems, a customer can exist without having placed an order. So you can still be an Amazon customer without placing an order. So you create an account and you're a customer and they keep track of you and your activities. But you haven't placed an order yet, but they still care about you and they still want to keep your information in their database. Now, an order is placed by one and only one customer. So that's how it works. It's an order, it's for you, and it's over its lifetime. It's only placed by you. That doesn't change. If somebody else places another order, that will be their order. So a specific instance of the order class over its lifetime is associated with one and only one customer. Let's read this. An order, so you're going to read this number, can have one to many items. So an order doesn't exist without items. So if you don't have any item, there is no order. So that's the one part of it. Now it can have as many items as you want to add to your order. So there is no specific upper limit that you want to put here. So when you don't know the upper limit, you just put the star, and that's what we do in most cases. Some people, if they have maximum limits, they put that number here. So you can say 1-10. It means that an order should have one item to exist, and the maximum number of items is 10, if that's the limit you want to impose on your orders. But in most cases we don't. And then let's read the order here and the order item here. An order item is that specific book copy that comes to your house. It's associated with only one order. So I have students ask me, but this is one copy coming to my house. There are so many copies of this book. So this is on the other side is one too many. But the way they model items in business, e-business, it's different. So the order item, or some people call it sale item, is that specific item coming to your house. There is product item, which is the big category for that item. Okay, so this is the Calvin Klein t-shirt, and there is inventory item that is specific colors and sizes of that shirt. So if we wanted to talk about the book, the product is the book, and then there are inventory instances of it. So there is a hard copy of the hardcover of the book, and there are other versions of the same book. So the book itself is that product item. Different forms of it are inventory items, and that one that comes to your house is your order item, or some people call it sale item. So keep those in mind. When the order requires at least one order item, we say this is a mandatory association for the order. So the order does not exist without being associated with an order item. Okay, that's mandatory. On this side, an order item, excuse me, must belong to an order, otherwise it doesn't exist. It's still that product item or the inventory item I just talked about. So this is mandatory for order item as well. So for an inventory item that is sitting in Amazon warehouses to become an order item, it has to appear on an order, otherwise it's still that inventory item. It doesn't have one instance of order item associated with it. A customer can exist without placing an order. So this is an optional association for customer. Order cannot exist with no customer. So there is nothing called order with no owner on Amazon. Every order is associated with a customer who placed it. So it's a mandatory association for order. So look at zeros and one on your domain model class diagram. Those help you identify, is this mandatory or is it optional? Can I exist without having a relationship with an order? Of course you can exist. That's an optional association for you. Can the order exist without being associated with a customer? No. And that's going to be a mandatory association for order. So let's go to the next slide. These are some of the symbols. So 0 to many or just a star. So 0 dot dot star or star, they show the same thing, 0 or more, and it's optional. And then you come to 1 dot dot star, that's one or many, one or more, mandatory, because there should be at least one. 0 to 1, I can be associated with 0 people. The maximum is 1. Think about marriage in the society. 1 and only 1. Think about the order we just talked about. Associated with 1 and only 1 customer. And some people write that 1 dot dot 1. That's the same idea. Here, 1 dot dot 1. The idea is that you think about the minimum and maximum requirements and put them on your diagram. That helps people understand the constraint of your system. So if somebody gets your diagram, wants to work on the design, they know they have to put upper limit or lower limits, and they know they have to check things when they code the program that you are working on. I'm going to stop here and I'm going to come back. Let's see what's next. Some examples I encourage you to read. And I think this is going to be too long if I start talking about domain model with an association class. So I'm going to come back for that.